All right, what's up, guys? So it's a slightly different video today. I usually talk about fitness or like self-improvement stuff, but today's a little bit different. So I'm going to be talking about kind of my backstory and how fitness saved my life. I've touched on it briefly in previous videos, but I haven't really gone into depth like I am going to do in this video. So I definitely want to start doing more videos like this. Maybe I'll implement some vlog style stuff because it's getting kind of hard to keep coming up with ideas if I wanted to keep doing daily videos. So I might start implementing some more vlog style stuff, even though my pretty much day to day is the exact same. Just eat, work out, work. Pretty basic, but I still might throw it in here and there. But yeah, let's get right into this video. So pretty much everything started for me back when I was in high school. I was 5'10" and a half, that's my height, and 130 pounds. And from a young age, I've always really been into video games. That might sound irrelevant to say that right now, but it'll be relevant here in a second. And the reason I love video games so much was just because I like the idea of progressing and getting better at something. So I would play Call of Duty, like Black Ops 3, MW3, MW2. I'm sure if you know, you know. But I would play those games like constantly, just trying to continually get better, increase my KD, just try to get max prestige. And I just tried to be the absolute best I could, which honestly meant sacrificing other parts of my life that I probably shouldn't have sacrificed at the time. For example, a lot of social encounters. I would never go out and hang out with friends because all I wanted to do was sit at home, play video games, and get better at Call of Duty. It would even get to the point where I'd stay up till 4 to 5 in the morning on the weekends. And when my dad would get up to go to work, he would have to come in our room and tell me to turn off my Xbox because it was too late and I needed to go to bed. And that happened actually quite a bit actually. And at the time I was like, oh, why is he making me go to bed? I'm having a good streak right now, or I don't know. I would get pissed, but then looking back, I'm like, dude, I wish I stopped doing that shit way earlier. Anyway, so tying this back into the original story. So I would play video games so much that it got to the point where I would forget to eat. So I was already 130 pounds. I was already pretty skinny. I don't remember exactly what I got down to. I think maybe like 115, 120, which is really unhealthy, I'm not gonna lie, to get down to that weight at my height. So because I got so skinny, this led me to get bullied in high school. And I would literally go around just wearing a sweatshirt all day, unless I like was literally forced to take it off in like PE class or something. And that shit was embarrassing, dude. I would get made fun of just for being like so skinny. Even when we were playing like team games in sports, like in PE class, I was always the last one to get picked. There were even girls that would get picked before me, and dude, that shit was embarrassing, man. So what did I do to try to escape my reality? Well, I'd play more video games and I'd forget to eat more meals. And things only became worse and worse for me. And this really played a toll on my confidence and self-esteem because I was so self-conscious, like I didn't even have the confidence to go out and make a change for myself. I was just so unconfident. I didn't want to go out and do anything other than I guess do my homework and play video games. I had good grades in school. At least I had that going for me. I've always had good grades, but that's irrelevant. And I felt like I was going to get made fun of anywhere I went. And I'm not even going to lie. Like I had suicidal thoughts and it made a lot of the people who loved and cared about me really concerned. And at the time, I thought they were just over exaggerating. But looking back, I can see why they were concerned because I was definitely a wreck at the time. And this was the turning point for me where I really decided to make a change for myself. I knew I didn't want to get fat. Obviously, no one wants to be fat, but I knew I didn't want to be skinny. So what is the other option? Build muscle. That's like the only option that's actually going to build substantial amount of confidence. So what did I do? I joined the gym, and this was by far the best decision I've ever made in my entire life. So this was around in June 2017 when I graduated high school, and I was going to go to college in fall. So I had really unrealistic expectations. I thought I could just spend the summer at the gym and just get jacked and by college. That's just not the case at all. Actually, the funny thing is I look the exact same as when I graduated high school and when I started college. Those 3 months, despite me grinding in the gym, working my ass off, I wasn't getting anywhere. I was making every single mistake you could think of. And probably the main mistake I was making was overtraining and then not eating enough. I would probably train one muscle group for like 2+ hours in the gym, wondering why it's not growing. And then I wouldn't eat anything on top of that. I'd eat probably a tiny bit more than I was before, but not even close enough to build muscle. So it was pretty frustrating at the time, but I knew it was my only choice. So I absolutely had to get this figured out as soon as possible. So I didn't quit. I kept going. And I still had the same issue where I'd wear a hoodie all day, every day. And if it was too hot, I wouldn't go outside. I was self conscious. I thought that if people in college saw my skinny body, skinny arms, and everything, that they would make fun of me like they did in high school, even though it's a completely different group of people. So after a year of training, I didn't look a whole lot different, like at all. And this is why a majority of people stop working out after a few months or maybe even a year, because you're not going to see crazier results. You can if you have someone like guiding you and you know exactly what to do, but chances are you're not going to see the results you're looking for. Like you're not going to look like a bodybuilder after 1 year. I'm sorry, but you're just not. I thought I was, honestly, but nope, not even close. So when I was about a year and a half into the gym, so another 6 months goes by, and I start learning more and more about the gym as I continue to go with myself, as well as watch like online fitness stuff, and just trying to figure out as much as I could because I knew I needed to build muscle. Like I did not want to stay skinny anymore, and I did not want to become fat. So I started learning that in order to build muscle, you have to eat a lot of food. So what did I do? I started dirty bulking. It was definitely not the right thing to do. It was a better choice than me continuing to spin my wheels, not eating enough. So I started dirty bulking, and also at the time, I was learning more and more about training, what types of splits to do, how to not overtrain, how to actually control the weight, proper form, range of motion, mind muscle connection. These things were all starting to click for me during this time when I first started dirty bulking. And I started to build muscle pretty quick, actually. A lot of fat as well, but I was actually starting to grow pretty quick. And then once those initial results came in, I became completely addicted to working out. Remember when I said I was obsessed with progressing and getting better at something? Well, I applied that same concept that I had with playing Call of Duty back in the day to fitness. Fitness really changed my life, and I started to build more and more confidence, as well as my physique at the exact same time. And a small takeaway for you, if you're not seeing results, give it a couple years, man. Give it a couple years. Once you finally like crack the code and start seeing some good results, that's when it becomes addicting and you never want to stop. I'm only speaking from experience because that's exactly what happened to me. So I had pretty good momentum going for probably a couple years, I would say. I was building muscle. I was starting to learn about lean bulking a little bit more, not eating a bunch of shit foods, just trying to like, I guess, force feed healthy foods. I definitely didn't have as much of an appetite back then as I do now because I have more muscle now, so it's easier for me to put down more food. But I was eating a lot of food still, but I wasn't gaining a whole lot of fat. I would do bulking and cutting phases, and at the end of all my cutting phases, I would be like a couple pounds up from my last one. It's like, oh man, this is so exciting. I love this. I had some really good momentum going for a couple years actually. But then eventually things took a turn for the worse. And I'm sure you could guess where this is going. The pandemic hit. The pandemic hit, the gyms got closed, everything was closed. I didn't have any workout equipment at home. I lost my momentum and I started to get fat. I was losing weight, but gaining fat at the same time. So I just continued to look worse and worse every single week. And this went on for months. And what did I do to cope this time? Yes, I played video games. I went back to Call of Duty. Warzone just came out, so I started grinding on that. And I mean, it was fun at the time, not gonna lie, but it was not the right choice to make because when I wasn't playing Warzone, I was turning to alcohol and partying and doing all this like other bullshit. And I honestly felt like I was back to square one, or even maybe in a worse position because I was playing the ridiculous amount of video games like I was before, but this time there's alcohol and partying in the picture. And I don't really know where the alcohol part came from because I didn't really drink a whole lot when I was growing up. It all kind of started during the pandemic, and that's when things really took a turn for the worse for me. I didn't lose all my muscle, but I definitely lost a significant amount of it. And it was still super hard to see my results slowly start to fade away after years and years of hard work. So what was my pandemic schedule? I'd play games all day, drink on the weekends, maybe even sometimes I would drink like at night. Like I'd hop off Warzone for a little bit, and then I'd start taking shots or drinking seltzers or something, and I don't know why. I guess I just needed to feel something because I didn't have that purpose for the gym back at the time. And just like last time, I was having these suicidal thoughts again. But I didn't tell anyone about it this time because I knew what effect that had on the people I loved last time I was doing stuff like that. So I didn't say anything about it. It wasn't as serious as the first time, but those thoughts were definitely there again. So this went on for a year and a half, 2 years, I'd say. The gyms opened up for a brief period of time, for a couple months during that like 2 year period, but it was very short. It was only a couple months and didn't take as much of an advantage of it as I should have. Just because I had a feeling that gyms were going to close again because I knew shit wasn't getting so much better. And this was probably the lowest point of my life. And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate too, where you just have some good momentum going, then the pandemic hit, and then shit just hits the fan, and you're just like, what do I do with my life? I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. I know I had some friends that went through a similar situation. However, there was one positive thing I did throughout that pandemic that set me up for success to where I am now. And that was binge watching fitness content on working out, nutrition, and just trying to build muscle in general, or just trying to build a great physique in general. So when the gyms finally opened up for good, I had so much more knowledge than I did previously. Just because I was starting to learn more and more about fitness, that doesn't mean it was super easy for me to rebuild that momentum when the gyms finally opened. I don't know why it was so hard for me to regain that momentum, but it definitely was. So I can definitely relate when people say that when they have to take some time off the gym, that it's just really hard to get back up and go, because I've been there. However, the only solution is to actually get back up and get back in there. So once I did have that momentum again, started going to the gym almost every single day, eating properly, cut out the alcohol, cut out the excessive video games, I started to get results faster than I ever saw before. Yes, I did have mind muscle connection, but also had an additional abundance of knowledge that I didn't have previously from binge watching all those YouTube videos. I was completely transforming my physique and I was the happiest I've ever been. That was the spark that I needed. I felt that I had everything on point and things were just falling into place for me when I was back into the gym. My addiction to the gym came back. I'd say it's a positive addiction in my opinion because it's actually bettering my life, unlike video games. And the gym really gave me purpose again. Like I have no like depressive or suicide thoughts at all. I haven't for years. And I can confidently say it's because of the gym. The gym like saved my life. So now it's been probably over 2 years now since all this happened. And the gyms have been open for good for a while now. I'm sure you guys all know that. And I can say that my confidence and my physique have only continued to improve since that whole pandemic situation and since I hit rock bottom then. A very valuable lesson I learned about myself through this experience is that no matter what sort of hardship I go through, I know how to pull myself back up. I've done it twice now. And I know if something like that unfortunately happens again and I hit rock bottom again, I don't see it happening, but obviously I don't predict the future. Can't predict the future, so you never know. But if something like that did happen again, I am very confident that I could pull myself out. It's not going to be easy, but I know I can do it. So this is why I think every man should work out, or every person in general should work out. So many problems for me, both physically and mentally, were solved through the gym. And I know a lot of you guys have your own struggles as well. I definitely recommend you join the gym if you're not already, so you can experience the same thing I did when I was getting out of all my problems and use the gym as an escape. But yeah, that's sort of a condensed version. I don't want to make this video too long, but that is how fitness saved my life. Literally, I would say literally saved my life. It's what gives me purpose. Another thing you can take away from this video is that you can pretty much solve any of your problems through consistent action. And just know that the hardest part is always going to be the start. Maybe for some of you, it's not even fitness, but that's up to you to find whatever gives you purpose in life. Something that you can chase on a day-to-day basis that's going to better yourself. I do think fitness has its place in anyone's life because there's no negatives that come with it. But again, do what gives you purpose and something that you are, I would say, even passionate about. Something that's going to give you a reason to get up every day and get after it. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys have any video ideas for me, definitely leave it down in the comments below because it's getting hard to keep coming up with ideas. Like I said, I might start doing some like vlog style stuff or maybe even just like raw workout stuff. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. I will see you in the next one.